Okay, good morning, everyone. Today we have our session on Power BI. So we already talked how to install Power BI on your PC. It was one of our earliest sessions that I went through. If you haven't done, please just Google download desktop Power BI. So the desktop Power BI is a free software if you're a Windows user. Otherwise, uh, you you can try Power BI as an online app, which is a part of Clark University Microsoft platform. So having said that, open your Clark University email. There is some dots on the left side next to Outlook. When you click on it, you see Power BI button. So, but having said that, this online app has some limitations. So if you just have a Mac system, please either use Power BI in Clark University lab, or maybe you can borrow a Windows laptop from someone and do these experiments. For today, maybe you can do 70–80% of what I do through this app, but you may still have some issue with some parts because it's not completely look like the desktop Power BI desktop. So if you still want to use this online app, which is over Microsoft Cloud, so click on new. After you get into Power BI, click on new report and select pick a published data set. And I already sent you a link to a like published one, so it should be available in your Power BI Cloud account. Then just click create. So for who are Windows users, you don't have to do this. And Power BI Desktop has more options than this cloud version. So this cloud version, you can create some figures, but it's mostly just for reading, not creating. So yeah, please follow the steps that I put on your PDF file for the today class materials. You can find today class materials on your Moodle. So go to week 13, class materials, and download the Excel file and the Power BI. I think no, not this one. Sorry. So go to your Moodle, week 14, and you see the PDF file and Excel file. Download both of them. It's not for the Mac user. The Mac user just should use the report that I shared with you yesterday night. So I give you a few minutes, either go over the online, the cloud version of the Power BI, or downloading the materials and make it ready on your system. For Power BI, our learning is through experiments. I don't tell you what is each item means or what does each options on Power BI. We have some challenges and we learn Power BI through those challenges. Well, hopefully by now you will be able to have either the online app or desktop version ready. So let's look at the first challenge. So import sample superstore.xlsx. This is an Excel file into Power BI and show sales of each subcategory of categories in all geographical regions. It seems we are looking at details of sales based on category, subcategory, and different regions. Change the name, title name to sale distribution, then change the font of title to size 16. Which categories have the highest sales in each region? What is the profit of the subcategories with the highest sales in each region? So for this challenge, I'm going to look at, resolve it through bar charts. It's not the only way, or maybe it's not the best way, but you just want to have some experiment, solving this distribution and learning a bit of Power BI. So, but how we can bring Excel file into Power BI? So let me open my Power BI. So there's different ways of bringing a data, but one of the easiest one, under the home, you see there's a section get data. Just click on it. Might take a little bit, but so first is Excel workbook. Connect. Then browse to location that you download sample superstore.xlsx and just open. So this Excel files has different sheets: order, people, returns, order 1, people 2, return 3. We are just going to work with orders. Select orders. So when you select orders, you see it has row ID, order date, ship mode, customers informations, geographical informations of order, category, subcategory, product name, amount of sales, quantity, discount, and profit. So we are going to look at some information related to sales in each category, subcategory, and geographical region. So click on load. Okay, after you click it, so you see on the most right part, there's an order section. If I click on the cascade button, you see all the columns that I just showed to you. So also we have a section of visualizations. So first section is for building visuals. Second part is for formatting. So on the first one, this is build visual. Just select a stacked column chart. Click on it. So there's different ways of putting the information of region, category, subcategory, sale, and profit here. If you want to reproduce my figure exactly, I also put the solution here. So as you see on the stacked bar chart, I'm saying axis is categories. So on the x-axis, legend is subcategory, sales value sales, and we have different sections based on region, so small multiples, and tooltip is profit. So access, I drag and drop category. Still, you don't see anything because you need to put some other informations. So subcategories for legends. We are looking at the sales value. Okay, so you might remember we had something like a legend in Tableau. It just, so you have X and Y axis. Legend is basically just make some changes in the middle of your shape. So anything middle of your figure refers to legend. So here, Y is sales, X is category, and legend just basically differentiate some sections on your column charts. So we also want to look at different regions. So in the small multiplies, I put the region. So now I have information of categories and subcategories based on their sales in different regions. As this is pretty small, if you want to see more, take your mouse on lower right. As you see, my mouse shape is changed. Drag and make it large. Also want to see their profit, but the way that I want to look at, I just want to look at profit through tooltip. So I drag and drop profit on tooltips. Now, when I take my mouse on each section, so within tooltip, I also see my profit. So profit is in the last line. So we can do some formatting, like changing the title or putting some labels on each part of the figure. So you can do it through formatting. So I said there's a section for formatting. As you see, I'm on that data label part. I change color, font size, and also change the title. So here, the second section is format your visuals. Look at my mouse. So when I take my mouse on that like pen, so it just, you see the name of format your visual. So my data labels is off. If I click on it, now you see some numbers. I just wait a little bit, you guys to catch up or have questions, then I go to the next one. Okay, what's the next part? It said change title name to sales distribution and the font 16. So under format your visual, we have two sections, visual and general. Under general is a section of title. Here, you can just change it to whatever you want. So here I want to have sales distribution. In the middle, maybe font to 16. You also can do other changes, like here, as you see, I played with the decimal units. So I want to have On the data labels, values, I said no decimal units, and so now you see the actual values. So it's first time you're working Power BI, might be look a little weird or challenging. There's a learning curve required, but at the end, this is a really easy software. So knowing Power BI is important because if you get internship or entry-level jobs, you would do a lot of works through Power BI and Tableau. But the most important part is you should be able to interpret your visualizations. So you should see what do they mean. For example, in the East region, what is the best category of sale? Can anyone answer my question? So if you saw what I did, so I said the category is my axis, right? So it's the X column, sorry, X axis is for category. So what is the best category of sales in East region? Who said? So which one is the highest? Huh? Technology, yeah. So here, the right side is the tallest one. And as you see, the category is technology. So it seems in the East region, you are very good in technology section. And what is the worst category in the South region? Furniture has the lowest height, or it's the shortest one. So maybe if you're in the marketing section or business section, maybe you need to do some marketing campaign for furniture to be able to sell more. It seems you are not performing very well. Also, it seems in the East region, you have a very good market of technology. So you should be able to talk about your visualization. So it might look amazing to know Power BI, but people care about how you interpret the figures, not just, yeah, I draw this figure. So after you see drawing these figures is really super easy. Any questions so far? Yes?
Can you show how you did the no dissimilar units for the data labels again?
So these are something about formatting. So first is build vision. The second one is for formatting. Data labels should be on. And you see this section for values. No decimal units.
Okay, I think mine is a different thing.
Oh. When did you, so if you're using the app, might be a little different. So the cloud app, but when did you install this? Beginning of I think they changed a little bit, but this part of visualization, maybe it's not in the top, it should be in the middle, right? So if I show you from my figures, let me see. So for you, might be something look like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think just last month they released a new version, so it's a little different. So, but instead of having formatting on top, it's somewhere in the middle of that column. So you might see a little differences. Yeah, that's another way you can search for it too. But for them, the issue was in the different in the previous version, the location of this I think search and those visuals are a little different. So might have some new things for you, but then you just drag, drop, and just interpret your figures. So it shouldn't be too scary. Let's do another practice. Let's dig more into figures. What is the profit of subcategories with maximum sales in each region? So in the previous one, some of the columns are drastically different, some of the particulars. For example, maybe for central region, you need to focus more to see which category you have the highest sale, because the height of the columns are near. This is one way you can easily differentiate and find the tallest one, so which we target in the next figure. So in this one, I still could use a stack column chart, but I'm going to use a stacked column chart, this one. Just another practice. Again, maybe it's not the best way of doing that. So again, if you want to reproduce my figures, you see the way that pictures are from the previous version. So you need to work with the clustered column chart. So clustered column chart is here, number 4 from top. So still category for access, subcategory for legend, value or sales, multiplies, you still can use regions, and tooltip, still we can use profit. You can play with the labels and have different formatting. So in the previous one, the subcategories were stacked on top of each other. Here, subcategories are clustered next to each other. So for each category, you have a cluster of subcategories. So, but how you can find the tallest one? So next to build visual, you have format your visual, and next to that is add further analysis to your visual. Click on it, and you can add max line. So it seems 100K is the maximum value you have. Also, you can see some differences of different subcategories from that maximum. Still, you might find other ways of better visualizing your information. This is just a way of learning Power BI through some practices. So maybe later on, you never use cluster column chart, but you want to just see how to make a cluster column chart and maybe how to interpret. So for example, the East region, so in technology, you have the highest sales with 100,600 and the profit of almost 12,000. In this one, if I take my mouse on each column, for example, center, you see the furniture, you have the highest sales is 85K and profit of almost 6.5K. So I wait 1 or 2 minutes for you guys to catch up or you have questions. Then I go to the next one. Yes? You said for the multiplier. So what you can do? Let's do, yeah. So let's see if I have CT, but I'm not sure if it works well. I can drop it, but it would be too much of multiplications. You see, a lot of. So you still can add multiple multipliers, but you should see if it's useful or not. But yeah, the question was a really good question. But sometimes, again, cluster column chart might not be the best figure here, but you just want to have some experiments learning those things. But that's a really good question. In the next class, I go more advanced Power BI. So you see, even you can do Python coding within Power BI. So you can add if you look here, so I have a section for Python visual and R script visual. So you can do a lot more advanced figures through this platform. So today is mostly just for basics. So next session we go more complex ones. Okay, so let's look at the next figure. What is the sale of the most profitable product segment in West region? So we should look at profit and also regions. And in the region, we are focusing on just West region. So again, as you see, I'm looking region, and details would be details based on segment, profit, and in the tooltip, I put the sale. When I want to hover my mouse, it's what I'm looking for. So pie chart, the legend was region. The value was profit or this one. Then the tooltip, let's put sales. So can you tell me what is the most profitable segment in the West region? Yeah, you don't see the names here, but if you create the pie chart, you can just take your mouse and from the tooltip, you can tell me labor. Okay, yeah, let's see. This one seems the largest one. I take my mouse. So in the West region, segment of consumer, you have 57,000 profit. So next one is 34, and the other one is just 16. So in the West region, in the consumer segment, I have the highest profit. You can definitely do it through column chart too. So maybe if you're interested, just let's play with the other figures and see if you can get the similar or exactly same result using different figures. But you just want to have some experiment and learning Python. Still, you can just go to the formatting. Maybe you change the font, you can change the title, legend, so on and so forth. And as sometimes some of the like icons are not available for some figures. For example, for pie chart, you don't have add further analysis to your visual. So sometimes they are not available for some figures. So as you see, there's nothing here. Anytime you have questions, you can just simply raise your hand, or from people who are using Zoom, maybe you can just use mic and ask your question. Okay, so here we want to learn about funnel charts through this question. Here's funnel charts of sales and profit for all subcategories in each region. Okay, so we have sales and profit for all subcategories in each region. What is your inference from comparing them? Rank the regions based on their performance on profit divided by sale. I think first three might look more straightforward. So let's create the first ones, and then we answer the last one, which is rank the regions based on their performance on profit divided by sale. So we want to see what proportion of their sales would be their profit. So funnel chart is here. So it's in the third row. So for group, I pick region. For the values, maybe first I do profit. What is the most profitable region? What? Yeah. And in the central, you have the lowest profit. So you should think of what's the issue. Maybe you can dig more into that and just see why in the central region you don't have comparable profit. You can do the same for sale. So click on funnel, region, and then for value, just drag and drop sale. But still in the West, you have highest sale. This time, lowest sale is for South. So it seems sale and profit don't have linear relationships. In some regions, you might have lower sale but more profit. So maybe we can dig more into it and just look at profit divided by sale to see what is the performance of the regions. So having said that, under home, go to the transform data, click on it. So the new window would pop up. Go to add column, just click on it. And click on custom column. So when you click on custom column, new window would pop up that you can make formulation for your new column. So what can I do? You can put any name. I want to put profit divided by sale. So on the available columns, I pick profit. And from your keyboard, just select the division sign, then click on sales. So if you press OK, you have a new column with the name that you picked. So my name was profit divided by sale. Next to the name profit divided by sale, there is ABC 1, 2, 3. So it's because Power BI is not sure what is the type of the variable. they're still wandering around. So you can right click, change type, and change it decimal numbers. So you would tell Power BI what should you do with the new created column. So the type is numeric. The numbers are exactly the same, but now next to profit sales, there's 1, 2. So now Power BI knows that it's working with the numerical values. So let me a little wait here so you can catch up with me. Then I go to the next part. Yes? Yeah, sure. So let me just, I should close it. It asked me, don't save it now. So we saw that profit and sales in the region don't have linear relationship. Maybe in some regions you have lower sale, but more profit. So we want to look at the, we want to see which proportion of sales in each region would go to profit. So what is your profit in comparison with the sales that you have? But I don't have that profit divided by sale column. So I have to create it. So under home, there's a transform data. So you click on it. Yeah. Yeah, there's some limitations. So online app is not as good as desktop, but you can do 70-80% of what I do here. But we also have lab. So they have Power BI in the lab. So for the portions that you cannot work here, you can just do it over the SOM lab. So here, again, I go to add column, custom column. I pick the name, profit divided by sales. Profit. Oh, it creates another one with the exact name. So let me just delete the previous one that I just created. So now I want to tell Power BI that it's a numerical column. Right click, change type, decimal numbers. So let me do another funnel chart. Apply change. Wait. So I click on funnel chart. Let me just click here. So I see for grouping, I'm working with regions. Some values, profit divided by sale. So if you look at order by order, not the overall profit, it seems you did, your company did a very bad job in the central region. On top of that, instead of that summation, you also can look at the average of them too. So on value, right click and click on average. So not summing, I think the average makes more sense because we are looking at like dividing two values and then looking the overall, all of the orders that you had. So it seems, anyway, summation or average, you did it seems your company had a really bad job in the central region. So what can we do? Maybe you can take a look at all of the transactions that you had that central region and report it to your management, and then they look at and dig more into it. But how you can get those reports? On the figure, just click on central. So as when I click on central, the color of other regions is pale, except for central, even in neighboring figures. So right click and then select show data points as a table. So you should first select your region, then right click, show data point as table. So now I have it seems something like an Excel file or Excel table, which just focus on the central region. And as you see, when I take my mouse down, all of them are just central region, because in the previous section, I just select central region. Under values or build visual, you can just, if you don't like some of the columns, you can just select them. For example, let's say for here, I deselect product ID. Or maybe, let's say, state. So whatever. So if I want to have all of the columns, I don't have to drop any. On the table, top right, next to the funnel, you see 3 dots. Just click on it and export your data. So now you found a problematic region in terms of profit and sales. You can report your data to the other, maybe marketing or sales department, so they should tell you what is going on. So you pick the problem. Sometimes you can answer it, sometimes you cannot. So at least you can exclude the records, report to the related department, and then they report to you what's the problem. So anyway, I save the results. Back to report. I'm here. So if I go to my folder that I saved, the data is .csv file is the report that I just created. So maybe you can email it to the related department, and they would tell you what was the reason from their point of view. Okay, I give you a few minutes for you to just practice. If you see some errors or you cannot just make those reports, you might need to do some changes in your option part. So I put the answer here for the people who might have issue. So from 5, go options, and you change your report setting to what I have here. So file, option settings, options. So there's a one for global, one is for current file, report settings. And you can just allow everything, allow user to change filters, so on and so forth. So you can maybe select all of them. In case you have issues of reporting. If you can easily report and make that .csv file, you don't have to change these things. But for some people, sometimes you need to just play with your option settings. So now, hopefully, if you change your options to whatever I see here, now when you select a region, you could be able to export. Again, if you already could be able to export your CSV file, you don't have to change those options. Okay, so before next to you, I just wait 1 or 2 minutes for you guys to catch up, or in case you have questions, you can just raise your questions and let me know how today. All right, let me ask a question. So let's say you want to make a brand new headquarters for your company, and for your company, sales is the most important factor based on your board of members. Sorry, I mean the board members of your company or CEO. So the most important factors for maybe a stock market is the sale. So where do you put your headquarters?
California.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, before California, maybe I should ask the methodology. So your methodology is the state that you have highest say. Your friend, he easily picked California. It seems you have the highest sales. Also, New York seems to have good amount of sales too, but if the sales is the most important factor, yes, maybe California. So I think this figure makes your life easier. So not only you see size, you also see the sale value based on different color. It still seems California is the reddest one. So California, you have the highest sale. Maybe if you want to make next headquarter, maybe New York, and after that, maybe Texas are good options. So now we want to make these two figures. So look at the fourth row. We have a section for map. Just click. Right. And so for location, I put a state. Make it larger. So you know that legend is just for making some changes in the middle of your figure. So maybe here I want to have different colors based on the regions. So for legend, I drag and drop region. And for size is sales. So you easily reproduce the first figure. That was here, right? No, here, sorry, the first figure. So in the second figure, you also see color, and the color provides extra information about the amount of sales you have. But how you do that? So let's make a new one. Still, I pick map. For the location, I drag and drop states. For size, sales. So now I want to have a function that function change your color. So the output of that function is the color tone or different colors that shows the magnitude of your sales. So having said that, go to format visual, bubbles, and now get to colors. So we want to change the colors of the bubbles that we have there. So as you see, we have a solid color of blue, which you see as like different bubbles on your map. So we can assign a function. So that function input is sales, the output is the color tone. So I click on FX. So if you might remember in your math courses, usually fx refers to a function. It might take a little bit for me, so just. So now I need to identify the input of the function. Instead of count of sales, from order, you pick sales. And maybe some of the sales for each region. I don't have any zero value for a state, or there is no missing values. In case there's a missing value, you can just play as a specific color or a solid 0. But for minimum, I still stay with pale blue. For the max, maybe you can pick red and press OK. So as you see, now I have two functions or two different indicators for sale. One is the size of bubble. The second one, from the format, I define a function for sale, which the input is sale, the output is your color tone. So the sale, you can easily tell me which state you have highest sales. So the first headquarter might be California. If you want to make a new one or make a sub headquarter, maybe New York also is a good option. Wait 1 or 2 minutes in case you have questions or you want to just catch up, then I go to the next one. For finding a location, maybe map is a good one, but again, you don't have to use map for the location for the times that you want to analyze as a location. But map usually is a good figure for that. Yes.
Can you review the format portion?
Yeah. So click on Format Visual, Bubble. So the first one is size. You don't play with that. Second one is color. So there is fx. Fx means you define a function for color. So for what field should be based on, you say sum of sales. And minimum color is the pale blue. The maximum is just solid red. So do you guys remember in Tableau, we wanted to make a map for England, for Britain, and it couldn't find the province of England. So you have to tell this column related to state or province. Here, Power BI could easily find the states in case for your final project or some of the experiment you want to do. If sometimes you have issues with the column type, just click on column here, the state. Data category here is unrecognized, but it worked for us. So you can just change it to state, province, and other geographical units that works better for you. Here, you don't have to change. In the Tableau, you might maybe select a state and province. Okay, so let's look at the next figure. You guys got this error? So for some reason, if you cannot show the map, still you need to go to options. So this time go to options, security, and select use map and field map visuals. So under global, security, use map and field map visuals. Just sometimes it's not selected, so you cannot make those map-based figures. So in case you get the error which I put on the left side, just select that option and hopefully, and then I think you need to restart your Power BI. And after restarting, you can use all of those map figures that related to the map. Is there anyone get this error mistake error that I have put on the left side? No? You got the error? Okay. So in case you get error, just select that option from your global security, and you have to close your Power BI and then open it again. So in this experiment, I'm working with the field map. So the question is, if you have a budget for building 4 warehouses in the state that you have highest profit, what would choose and why? So from this figure, you see the colors refers to profit, and the way that design it, so solid red or reddest ones means the highest profit. So if you want to make warehouses, which 4 states you pick? California maybe is one of them, right? Is pretty red. What is the next one? Yeah, Washington, New York. The 4th one might be a little challenging. Maybe Michigan seems to be more. Pretty much easy this time. So as you see, I select field map, and also I made a function for the colors. So this time, next to the map, we have field map. So for location, I drag and drop state. Profit variable tilted. And I go to visualizations, field colors, and next to the color, there is a function. Profit. And you make exactly the same color. So in this last 2 experiments, we work with the color functions. And again, you can use the even map. You don't have to use map for finding the highest state with the highest profit. You still can use a simple map, but you can do something similar with the field map. So for your own experiment, your own project, you just pick the one that is more convenient, and you can easily get the information. Okay, let's have the last figure for today. It seems the highest profit is in California and lowest in Texas. So if you look at here, so yeah, Texas is pale blue and California is the reddest one. And also if you take your mouse, you can see the profit in California is 76,000 or 76K. In Texas, minus 25. It seems your company did a really bad job in Texas. Okay, so having said that, compare the sales and profit of each category of these two states. It seems I just want to focus on these two states and then look at maybe sales and profit. So as you see, it seems I want to just focus on just two states. So, and I just need to exclude them. So how you exclude? You do through filters. So in this experiment, we learn how to use filters for excluding other information and just focusing on the parts that we want to do. Okay, before we go into NIME, so as you see, I use map, state, legend category, and size is sale, but on the left side, under the state, I just picked California and Texas accordingly. So let's just make a new one. I picked map, location, state, maybe category for legend. Size is sales. So the most left one is for filters. Under the state, just click on the cascade button and select California and Texas. So as this is pretty small, maybe you can change the bubble size. So if you want to change bubble size, you need to do some formatting. So you have to do it on all of them on the format section. So I changed from build visual to the format my visual. And for the bubble, I just changed the maximum possible one. And also the label is off. I make it on. And you can just do some formatting. For example, let's change color to maybe red. Maybe you can increase your size. And maybe remove the background and make it bold. So you can do some fonting here. Let me go back to build visuals. So still for tooltip, let me just leave profit there too. So now let's compare sales and profit of each category on Texas. So sales of technology is 65K, profit 3K. So in furniture, Texas did a really bad job. So minus 10K is for furniture. Maybe, I mean, they should make a tough decision. Either maybe they should maybe drop selling furniture in Texas. Maybe they have a big competitor. Or if they want to compete, maybe instead of dropping furniture sales in Texas, maybe they can do marketing campaign, or they might have some manufacturing issues. So they still they either drop the competition or leave the market, or maybe they need to invest a lot more. And same for office supplies. They also did a really bad job. So they have low sales and even negative profit. In comparison with California, sales and profit in technology is really good. And 159K of sales. So for furniture, still they did a good job. I think they have a good amount of sales and also positive profit. Almost similarly with office supplies. So again, learning Power BI might be a little challenging for now, but after a while, it will be really easy software. You just drag, drop. If you want to, you're not happy with the figure, maybe you go to formatting issues. Sometimes you define a function on top of the colors. And you can easily make figures. So after like maybe 30 minutes or at least half a day, working Power BI should be super easy for you. In case you might get issues, you can just Google it, reach me, ask through Telegram groups that we have. But other than that, you need to learn how to interpret your figures, and the only way is just doing practice. So you need to go to details, see the information, and just interpret. Maybe sometimes you can provide some solutions. In some cases, like here, no, let me see. Maybe you cannot find the reason or issue. You select that part that is problematic and just report to some other departments and ask them to just provide some insights. But anyway, so learning Power BI is very useful, but the most important is the soft skills that you should have. You should be able to interpret your figures and provide some insights. This is the most important. Any questions for today? We're almost 5 minutes after the, class period. So if there's no questions, we should go to your class attendance. Let me stop share and stop recording.